Stop hiding behind children. Stop hiding behind parents. Stop hiding behind the idea that you're trying to do good things, because you know that you're not. You know that you're not, okay? You're not protecting kids. You're just taking rights away. Continuing with our trend of covering electoral politics, we have another video. Now, don't be concerned by the length. It is a 58-minute video. We are not watching all of it. There's a specific part that I would like to go over in all of this glorious HD, as you can see from Vivek Ramaswamy's channel. Vivek rhymes like cake. And as you can see, as you'll be able to see here, Donald Trump's speech, but he did bring on a special guest known as Vivek, open quotation, rhymes with cake, close quotation, Ramaswamy, who I believe, has he dropped out officially? I know that like his only reason for running at all was just so he could get his name like plastered everywhere and probably get some book deals and whatever. And also lick Trump's asshole like he's fantasized about for so long. But I don't know if he's dropped out yet. So let's just see what's going on here. I know that he's endorsing Trump at least, so he's out. Okay, great. So we have confirmation from Karl Marx in chat, who I trust deeply, that he has dropped out officially. So let's see him lick Trump's ass a little bit. Not literally, but you know, don't worry. It was just a little bit of a trick. The quality did get better, but I found a frame where it was really bad, and I thought it was funny.
He's young, and he's got some young ideas too, and that's a good thing. So he has a big, beautiful, bright future ahead. Vivek Ramaswamy. Come on up,
Sounds like cake. Sounds like cake. What's going on? This is not YouTube. This is just how the video's cut.
Let's do this, guys.
Wow, man.
It's good to see you. It's good to be back to New Hampshire.
That's crazy.
We miss you guys. We're going to make this happen, and you guys know this well.
This?
You know this man.
Okay, stop calling it leftist video quality. Stop that. That's an insult now. Look at this conservative video quality. This is conservative video quality from now on. I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
You know why we're here,
awful.
patriots across the state.
They'll spend money on almost anything except good recording equipment.
We are in the middle of a war in this country. That's what this is. It's not a war between black and white. It's not between Democrat and Republican, even in a deeper sense. It's between the permanent state and the everyday citizen. Between those of us who love the United States of America and a fringe minority who hates this country and what
I agree, although probably not in the direction that he's thinking.
What we stand for. And right now we need a commander-in-chief who will lead us to victory
like
in
Daddy
this
Trump.
war.
Say it, buddy.
That's what we need in this country.
Mm-hmm. His speech is about 12 minutes.
You got to know you're in a war to win one. You can't win one if you're asleep at the switch, have your head stuck in the sand.
Oh, we're at war, are we? Oh, interesting. We're in a civil war, guys. Breaking.
Like most Republicans. And I think that's going to require...
Buy guns.
Somebody who isn't bought and
Seriously,
paid for, a businessman, not a politician. Anybody heard of that?
Price.
And that's why I was in this race, but I'll tell you, the people of Iowa spoke loud and clear last night, and I'm a big believer that we, the people, create a government that is accountable to us, not the other way around. That we, the people, choose who leads this country. And so we heard, we, the people.
Unless my guy doesn't win, then it was a rigged election.
Last night, and that is why last evening I met my friend here. We met in person, and I told him that I would endorse Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, and do everything in my power.
This is terrible.
To lead us to victory in this war. It is a.
There's got to be a better feed than this. Is there anything better than this? Hold up. That's from Vivek's own channel. What the f is wrong with this, man?
Who will lead us to victory?
Okay, I think this is better.
This war.
Hopefully,
That's
it's better.
what we need in this country.
Buy guns.
You got to know you're in a war to win one. You can't win one if you're asleep at the switch, have your head stuck in the sand like most Republicans. And I think that's going to require somebody who isn't bought and paid for, a businessman, not a politician. Anybody heard of that?
Do these, okay, something that I'm confused by is, do these people know that like the devil is often portrayed as a businessman who like makes deals with people. Like, what's going on here? Donald Trump has all the indicators and then some of the Antichrist. He was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He's a businessman. He makes deals with people. He would probably like sell his own soul for a ham sandwich. He probably already has, if I had to guess. You know, like it doesn't make any sense. And also, I believe that like evangelicals did not like him initially because of all of that. He's like a Hollywood elite, you know? Like, how did he manage to convince so many people that he's like this common, average, everyday American who's just trying to make a good business deal? Like, it's silly. It's so silly.
And that's why I was in this
exactly,
race,
Karl Markey.
I'll tell you, the people of Iowa spoke loud and clear last night, and I'm a big believer that we, the people,
he's doing the
create
Trump hand
signals
signals
to us, not the other way around. That we, the people,
wait. What did he say?
Create a government that is accountable to us.
I thought he said bow to us.
That we, the people, choose who leads this country. And so we heard we, the people, last night, and that is why last evening I met my friend here. We met in person.
My friend
I told
here.
him that I would endorse Donald J. Trump for president of the United States and do everything in my power.
God damn. Donald Trump's loving this, man. Here, let me move. He's like soaking all of this in. He's just so happy whenever somebody talks good about him. It's almost cute.
To lead us to victory in this war. It is a 1776
friend. He said friend.
Right now. That's where we live right now. And you want to know what does it mean to be a Republican today? It means we believe in the ideals of 1776. Ideals like freedom,
like owning slaves,
and merit, and the pursuit of excellence. That you get
They also believe that abortion was okay. Can we do that? The founding fathers had no issue with abortion.
Head in this country, not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character and your.
Where did that come from? Martin Luther King Jr. is not a founding father, and also like you guys, like I cannot stand. So when I was on that Jubilee panel, and one of the ladies said that, I just cannot stand when conservatives. I almost wish that Martin Luther King Jr. had never said that. I'm going to say it. I wish that he had never used those words because he couldn't have known it at the time, but that opened up the door for, after his death, conservatives to ragdoll his corpse in front of liberals and try to pretend like they're the progressive ones, like they're the ones who are, fighting for the rights of black people all over the United States, right? By virtue of, taking away their ballot boxes. Remember that happened in Texas, okay? If they hadn't done that in Texas, Texas could very well go blue. It still could, because conservatives just suck that badly that they cheat and still lose. But they don't care about black people. They don't give a shit about anybody but their own self-interest. And sometimes they're fake God.
Contributions.
Sometimes.
End affirmative action. End DEI. We are done with the...
And by fake God, I don't want any Christians to think that I disrespect your religion. It's not about that. It's about their fake God. Specifically conservative politicians and pundits, their fake God, who thinks that trans people should all be killed. Okay? That's a fake God. If God does exist, there is no shot that he believes that. None at all. Or wants that.
Nonsense. Send it back home. It means you believe in the rule of law. And I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country.
There's another classic line. I don't give a shit where you come from, man. If you're so proud of the fact that your parents came here legally, like, why don't you also go through that process? You know what I mean? It's like, I was born in the United States, therefore I just get to live here. I don't have to take a citizenship test, and if I fail, they'll deport me. You know? And also, I don't know how well I would do on the citizenship test. I legitimately don't know how hard it is. And that's hardly the worst part about trying to immigrate here. There's all kinds of red tape and legal shit that you have to go through in order just to get here. Why you would not want to make that process easier, why you would not want to accept your fellow man into the warm embrace of your amazing nation, the melting pot of the world, right? It's just very anti-American. It is fundamentally anti-American to be against immigration.
And that is why we need to use our military to secure our own southern border in this country. That's what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States.
They fully endorse a war on Mexico, by the way. Like, they want to roll tanks into Mexico.
States of America. It means the people we elect to run the government needs to be the ones who actually run the government, not the shadow government in the deep state
here we go.
that
There's
runs
the JQing
today. This man is going to get in there this time around and actually shut down that deep state. Not messing around this time anymore.
More, Mr.
That's how
Trump.
we win this war in this country. And the way we're actually going to do this in the long run and win this time around is with elections we need to secure in this country for the long run. You want to know what needs to happen in this country? Single day voting on election day as a national holiday with paper ballot.
Wait.
On election day as a national holiday.
Let's go. Finally, something I can get behind. Although I will say, when you scale that against everything else they want to do, it's like, no, no, actually, no. Because the other side of that coin, remember, is that they want to remove completely the ability to vote early or by mail. They want as few people voting as possible, and they've said so. There is at least one politician who has said so in a speech that I can never find. I know that Gremlo likes to pull it up a lot. If you guys know Gremlo on Twitch, but they legitimately know this. They know that the more people vote, the worse it is for them.
With paper ballots. Government-issued ID to match the voter file.
Also, I'm calling BS on making Election Day a national holiday. What they really mean by that is we slap a label on it called national holiday, but you still have to go to work, dumbass. There's no way that that would ever be supported by their lobbyists.
And English as the sole language that appears on a ballot. And I'm
What?
confident
Why? Why? Ew, no, ew, why? Excuse you. Nobody said that English is the national language of the United States. Again, we're a melting pot. This is fundamentally anti-America. It's anti-human.
To get us there. And this is how
if you were serious, okay, if you really believed in your own cause, you should want that in as many different languages as possible. You should want it in like tribal African languages. You know what I mean? Like, you should want that thing covered top to bottom in text from all languages of all types for anybody to understand. You should be opening the floodgates to these ballot boxes. You should be wanting people to mail in like 3 months early. Like, you should want these things if you are confident in your ability to win elections. These are things that you should want as an American as well. Like, that's just an American thing, right? It's just to want people to be able to go vote, but they don't want that because they hate America. They hate you. Okay, they hate all of you, regardless of whether you're conservative or liberal or what. They hate you. They legitimately hate you.
How we get our country back. Not black
get
or
it back.
white. It's deeper than that. These are the ideals of the American Revolution.
There are white thugs in Chicago too. Not as many of them, but they're there.
And you know what? We do have some enemies that we need to defeat on the other side, but we have challenges to address in our own party right here at home.
I would agree with that. So you know what?
If you want somebody who's going to foist onto you to use your social media account, you want to use a driver's license to do it, to have the right to use the internet, this man's not your man. There's another candidate in this race who'll do that for you. It's Nikki Haley.
Wait, say that again.
The social media account, you want to use a driver's license to do it, to have the right to use the internet, this man's not your man. There's another candidate in this race who'll do that for you. It's Nikki Haley.
Okay, I don't know much about Nikki Haley's policies, but yeah, I do disagree that we should have to like use our licenses to get on the internet. I'm glad they're at least not pushing that, but again, you stack it up against everything else, it's like it doesn't matter. Too many of your other rights are at stake.
You want to cut Social Security, you want to cut Medicare, you want to cut veterans benefits so we can fork over more money to Ukraine so some kleptocrat can buy a bigger house?
By the way, a lot of libertarians really love Nikki Haley now because of, again, I don't know much about her, but what I do know is that a lot of libertarians, I think, are loving her because she wants to like cut Medicaid and like welfare benefits and shit, which conservatives have known for decades that that's not in the cards. If you want to win, you cannot go after Social Security, not as a liberal, not as a conservative, not as a centrist, not as anybody. It is in place. And that's why conservatives are trying so hard to reclaim office, because lobbyists, their lobbies know that if another progressive policy gets in place that gives huge social benefits, such as Social Security, like if there were Medicare for all, for example, we'd never put it back in the bag. Once it's out of the bag, nobody's going to want to put it back. And they don't want that. They've already let it happen once in our history. And if it happens again, a lot of these companies could see a lot of big losses. They won't go bankrupt or anything. Of course, they're gargantuan. But they don't want to lose like precious pennies. So they're not going to let it happen.
Vote for Nikki Haley, not this man right here. But
Point being, they'll gesture at wanting to protect Social Security, but it's just a gesture.
you want to actually put an agenda that puts Americans first, to say that the moral obligation of your leaders is to the citizens of this country, not another one. There's not a better choice left in this race than this man right here. And that is why I am asking you to do the right thing as New Hampshire and to vote for Donald J. Trump as your next president, because we're not working with a lot of time here.
The sad thing is, like, I can't think of another Republican politician who would do a better job than Trump. Like, I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure I'm just not educated enough, but, you know, I don't know.
If our kids are in high school before we get this right, we don't have a country left. That's
What?
what it means. We've been celebrating.
Wait, what he just said right there, if our kids are in high school before we get this right, we don't have a country left, that is fear-mongering against the schools. It was very well hidden, but I think that that was a jab at the fact that if like the high schools are wokeifying your kids and transing your kids. That's really scary rhetoric, guys.
Our diversity and our differences.
Here we go, yep.
For so long that we forgot all of the ways that we are the same as Americans, bound by that common set of ideals that set this country into motion.
Ideals like what? Like diversity? I'm just saying.
We believe those ideals still exist. This man is going to be your next president to revive them. E pluribus unum, from many, one. And you know how we're doing it? We're doing it by speaking the truth at every step of the way.
From many, one. So let's break that down. If that's the case, then why do you want to keep people from being able to vote via mail and early? Why? What happened to from many, we are one? Like, it sounds like from few, we are one against the many because we hate the many, is what it sounds like.
There are two genders in this country.
Oh, yeah, you always got to throw that in there, right? If it's so obvious, why do you keep saying it?
Period. That is the truth.
Like, if it's that obvious, if it's like that ingrained in humanity that there's only two genders, that gender is a binary, why do we have to keep revisiting this? That doesn't make any sense. You keep saying, oh, it's only natural, it's two genders, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's not natural, clearly, because we have all these transgender people, we have all these intersex people, we have all these people of all these kinds of gender and sexual orientations and presentations and identifications and whatever else. We have so much diversity, and it's beautiful. I think it's cool. I think trans people are really neat. You know, I think it's really cool that there are so many different people who want to live their lives in different ways and have different ways of going about their lives and dressing in different ways and acting in different ways. I think that diversity is really, really cool. And I would hate for you to take that away. I would hate that. So don't.
Fossil fuels are a requirement for human prosperity. Drill, frack, burn coal, embrace nuclear energy.
Cool.
Reverse racism.
I agree to, embrace nuclear energy. I like that. Oh, yeah, he's going to talk about reverse racism here. Cool.
Is racism. An open border is
Wait, what?
not. Reverse racism is racism.
Oh, it sounded like he says isn't. Well, yeah, I mean, reverse racism does not exist on a systemic scale. Like, you can be individually racist to white people for the fact that they're white, but on a systemic scale, systemic racism is the problem against, like, minority groups like black people and brown people and Asian people and all that. Not as much Asians these days, I don't think, but I think specific Asian groups, because Asia's so fucking big and people tend to forget that, specific Asian populations do have it pretty rough still because of systemic racism. So, you know, like, in as much as, like, okay, when they talk about reverse racism, what are they talking about? Oh, I didn't get into Harvard. I didn't get into Harvard because of reverse racism. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Anyway, let me go back to the soup kitchen where, like, 70% of the people there are black, you know, because they can't afford shit. Like, what are you talking about, man? Stop. You're just whining.
An open border is not a border. Parents determine the education of their children. The nuclear...
Okay, sometimes you're just a bad parent, you know? I am so tired of this idea that, like, parents have the final say-so in anything that happens with their kid. And nobody believes this. Nobody. I know you don't. Even if you're here as a hate-watching conservative, you don't believe that. Because if a parent, commits some kind of atrocious act against their child, you want that parent in jail. And also, I'll go even further and say that, by saying parents should not be allowed to give their kids gender-affirming healthcare, you don't think that parents have the final say. So stop with that bullshit. That's bullshit. It is complete bullshit. All you want is to be able to control the medical decisions of other people. So stop being a coward and just say it. Stop being a pussy. Just stop being a pussy and just say it. That you just want to be able to control what people do with their bodies and their lives. Stop hiding behind children. Stop hiding behind parents. Stop hiding behind the idea that you're trying to do good things, because you know that you're not. You know that you're not, okay? You're not protecting kids. You're just taking rights away.
Your family is the greatest form of governance known to mankind.
Stop with the bullshit.
Capitalism lifts us up from poverty. There are 3 branches of government in the United States, not 4. And the U.S. Constitution...
What's the 4th supposed to be?
...is the strongest and greatest guarantor of freedom in human history.
I agree. And the founding fathers were very insistent that it should be amended as time goes on. But every time that somebody proposes a new amendment these days, you anti-American freaks want to push back and say, well, you don't deserve more rights. You don't deserve more rights. What are you talking about? All your rights are right here in the Constitution that the founding fathers said that we need to change sometimes, but we're not changing it because we already have all the rights that we need and you don't deserve any more. What are you talking about?
That is the truth. We fight for the truth. We stand up for the truth. That is what won us the American Revolution.
These fascists want the nuclear family to be the model of this. Oh, nuclear family. I thought you were talking about nuclear energy. That's why I stopped. Well, yeah, no, the nuclear family is a very recent development in history. It's complete bullshit that, that's always the way things have been. It's just fascist propaganda.
That is what reunited us after the Civil War.
What is?
Revolution. We stand up for the truth. That is what won us the American Revolution. That is what reunited us after the Civil War. That is what won us.
We weren't reunited after the Civil War. We kind of were, but it was kind of a shambling mess. Because there were still a lot of people that, after they freed the slaves, they straight up were just like, okay, good luck, guys. Oh, but wait 1 minute. I know that you don't have any property, any money, anywhere to go, any food, any water, anything. I have it all, right? As the former owner of you. So why don't you come back and work for me, right? Just come back and work for me and live on my plantation. It ain't so bad, right? Yeah.
2 world wars and the Cold War. That is what still gives hope to the free world. And if we can revive that dream.
What dream?
Group identity and victimhood and grievance. Then nobody in the world, not a nation, not a corporation, not a virus, not China, is going to defeat us.
I got news for you guys. The majority of the American population never got to experience the American dream. Never. So it's not an American dream. It's a lie. The cake is a lie. They've lied to you.
It's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
I know that my audience knows this, but in case that you were just born yesterday, you've been lied to. There's no American dream anymore. You don't get to own a home. You hardly get to own video games anymore. Barely. You don't own anything. We live in a renter's economy now. We're at the will and whim of our betters, who have way more money and way more power and influence than us, and we just have to sit back and take it. So there's no American dream. At least if conservatives keep getting their way. Now, we could start to get there if we, elect progressive candidates. I know that Joe Biden's not the best representative for us, but he is 1,000 times better than Trump. So, we could at least start there. And then if you want a third party in 2028, maybe start in 2024. To go back to the third party voting thing, the bullshit that people try to say is totally legit and definitely going to work this time. It'll work this time, bro, I swear.
That is what American exceptionalism is all about. That is what we are going to revive to, yes, make America great again. Vote for this man right here in the New Hampshire primary. God bless you and your families, and may God bless our United States of America. Thank you, New Hampshire.
Woo, that's right,
Good to
buddy.
see you guys. We're coming back and winning this in a landslide.
I don't know who this Indian feller is, but he's speaking truth to power.
Will not stop until we get this job done. Thank you all. God bless you. And
He's one of the good ones right there. Oh, give me a little kiss. Give me a little kiss. Look at him. I would, oh God, what I wouldn't give to know what they said to each other. What I wouldn't give. Oh yeah, he's glazing real hard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. So yeah, that's Vivek, rhymes with cake. Fully endorsing Donald Trump. He's out of the race, baby. He and Ron DeSantis both. Looks like all that's left is Nikki Haley running against Donald Trump. And I do want to cover Nikki Haley a little bit more in a different segment. But for right now, let's focus on Ramaswamy Lama Ding Dong. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. From the very beginning, he was going to, drop out and endorse Trump. This was all just a big publicity stunt for him. And he's trying to get in good with the party because he understood, he's very smart, okay? Make no mistake. Vivek Ramaswamy is very smart. He knows what he's doing. And he's setting himself up for either a 2028 run or 2032 run. He's setting up for the future because he knows that Trump is the future of the Conservative Party. And if they win, then he is going to be the front runner in the next, I guess it would be pseudo election because by then democracy will be dead. But he would be the next person to take the mantle, right? After Donald Trump dies after ruling for like the next 10 years or whatever. So, he's doing the smart move, I must say. Unlike Ron DeSantis, I got to give Vivek points for charisma, right? Much better than DeSanctimonious. But yeah, once again, this is just scary shit. I mean, you guys heard it here. This is all fascist rhetoric. So once again, 1, buy guns, 2, vote. Vote for Joe Biden. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.